we're here this morning at the Bronco Off-Roadeo. So the deal is, this is an off-road driving course specifically for Broncos. So when you buy a new Bronco, they give you an option for free that you get to come and take this course. They have 5 of these places throughout the country, and one of them happens to be pretty close to us. This one's in Gilford, New Hampshire at the Gunstock Ski Resort. And so they were open during the summertime. They just opened a couple of weeks ago for this year, for this season. And we're gonna go learn how to drive off-road in a Bronco. I was a little worried when we started off the morning in this sort of classroom, but turns out there was very little of that. That was just for introductions. They immediately took us out onto the slopes, or what in the wintertime are the slopes, but first it's really to this custom track. So this is a course that they built very specifically to give us sort of an introduction to off-roading, show us some of the basics, what to think about, things that are just as simple as getting your seat adjusted right so that you can get maximum visibility in the vehicle, as well as thinking about clearances. Here they're showing somebody about what to be looking for when you're cutting turns. If you're getting close to a tree, where do you need that tree to be before you cut your wheel? Things like that. But they also designed this trail to show off the features of the Broncos. The things that these things can do, stock. And it's really pretty impressive. They're really, really capable vehicles right out of the dealership. These vehicles are, albeit they're expensive vehicles, but very, very capable right out of the showroom floor. And these things are not specialized in any way. Some of them had soft tops and things like that, but it's not as if they were specialized with any sort of extra gear that you can't just order these things with as stock packages. Anyway, they asked for a bunch of volunteers. I never volunteered to drive any of these things because I knew that we were going to be doing the driving all morning and all afternoon. And quite frankly, I kind of wanted to get footage of other people driving. I knew I wasn't going to get a lot of opportunity to do that. So I took the chance to take videos of other people driving the Broncos around, and that's this. All right, so we're officially on a trail. Declan's right behind me, although probably can't see him. Declan, can you pop out? There he is. Declan has a boring yellow wristband today, which means he can't drive the Broncos. But I've got the cool yellow wristband, which means, or the orange wristband, which means I can drive the Bronco today. And right now, my wife Jamie's driving the Bronco. It's her Bronco. So, well, she's the one who owns the Bronco. She doesn't own the one we're driving in. So she gets to drive, but she also doesn't like to be on camera. So you don't get to see her, you get to see the car she's driving, though, and the trail we're driving along. So we've already done like 2 hours of sort of a classroom or outside classroom thing and watching other people drive through the test course. Now we're on actual live trails. And so far, I'm kind of amazed by what these cars can actually do off the showroom floor. These things are really pretty darn capable off-road vehicles.
All right, folks.
that is morning down so far. We just gobbled down some lunch that they gave us as part of the course. And this is pretty cool. Now, we were only able to drive for about an hour, hour and a half or so. But that was actually pretty cool. We got to go out on a little excursion. Both Jamie and I got a couple of runs in for our own to sort of try it out. And now we've had lunch, and now we're back out for an afternoon more of trail riding. I guess they wanted us to digest our food a little bit before they shook us up on the trails again. So they actually gave us a cool briefing on some of the basics of recovery and some of the different ways that you can actually get yourself out of trouble on the trail. Now, this wasn't in depth, and these guys do offer courses on recovery, so no big surprise that they did this for us to show you what else you can do with them. But then they took us out on some more gnarly trails. And the afternoon was a little bit more brutal. These trails were a little bit more difficult to navigate, a little bit more of a test of both us and the trucks, but very, very cool. And you'll notice in this one that there's a lot more times when you can see the instructor standing outside the vehicle. That's because there were a lot more opportunities where you couldn't see the line or you couldn't see where you were going, and you really needed a spotter to be able to help you along. And that was a thing that was sort of a new thing for us. This idea of trusting somebody outside your vehicle, telling you exactly what to do, and just having faith in them and following their instructions. Them telling you when to stop, when to turn the wheel, when to let on the gas, when to apply the brake. And as long as you trust them, you'll get things done the way it's supposed to get done. Pretty cool, pretty hairy, but also just a lot of fun. Now, we had a great experience at the Off-Roadeo. Really no complaints about anything, but one of the things that I have to say they do really well is ramping up the experience for you during the day. So you start off with stuff that feels pretty mild, very controllable, like it's totally in your wheelhouse and you can do it, and then they keep on challenging you through the day and giving you the tools to do that. And that's what they were doing with us after lunch especially. They were challenging us more and more. And our instructor, who was with our group, Nick, who we really liked, was telling us the whole morning that by the end of the day, he was going to get us up with wheels up off the ground. He wanted to get us up on 3 wheels. And this was that time of the day. Now, you're seeing me here getting ready for this as I'm watching some of the other trucks go ahead of us. Nick is actually out of the vehicle. He is standing off to the side of the trail. And the reason he's doing that is he's spotting for us because I cannot see where I'm going. The drop-off is steep enough that I can't see the trail. There's nothing to see over the hood of the vehicle, just a drop. I don't know where I'm going. It's completely blind. I have to just trust in watching his hand signals telling me what to do and hope that I'm doing this right. And I'm watching his hand signals to know, should I be on the brake? Should I be turning left? Should I be turning right? Should I be giving it gas? It's everything. So pretty nerve-wracking. But also pretty darn fun. It's pretty gnarly to be going off something that I literally can't see over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's 3 wheels. That's why people were getting out, so they could film it.
Or because they don't want to be in there.
Oh!
It's not gonna be fun.
You guys can get out if you want.
I'm not pussy.
Remember for me. Remember, stop
Got it.
I have a small inkling I'm not even on the ground anymore.
You're dropping on the passenger. You're about to raise on the driver. Nice and slow. That's perfect pressure. I didn't love that.
I trusted you, but I think there's some other full pants in here.
That was terrifying.
I will give you, because that was perfect pressure for coming down.
Yeah, that was cool.
You had it nice and controlled.
Yeah.
The whole time.
It felt controlled. Even when I felt it coming down, I was like, I think this is good.
It was just a
Yeah.
slide, and it was good.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Sweet.
All right.
One of the really cool things they had us do as part of our learning experience here was at this one particularly nasty spot in the trail that they called Dan's Rock. They had us offer to spot for each other. So in this case, I spotted for my wife Jamie, but in the other vehicles, one of the passengers chose to spot for the driver, and you had to basically learn what it's like to spot for somebody on the trail, and it was tricky. I think, truth be told, most of us would probably choose to drive over spotting, because spotting's pretty hard. You got to be pretty precise in your instructions with people on what to do and when to stop and when to turn the wheel and when to apply pressure and when to go gas. It's a lot of pressure, but this was really fun to learn, and we watched a bunch of our compatriots for the day send their colleagues through this particularly nasty rock form. There were several ways through it, but none of them were easy. But everybody made it through pretty much unscathed. Well, guys, that was a complete blast. And I wasn't really expecting it. So this thing came along as sort of a package that Jamie got to get for being a Ford Bronco owner. And she said, hey, do you want to do this? I'm not really into off-roading, never have been. I don't have anything against it, but truth be told, when you live in Massachusetts, there's not a whole lot of opportunities for off-roading. We don't really have any public off-roading trails around here, so it's just sort of not part of our growing up, not part of our history, unless you have a lot of land growing up and have your own off-road trails or know somebody who does. It's just not something you do. You don't really pick it up. And while I mountain biked a bunch when I was in my 20s, and that's in fact how I met my wife, motorized stuff was never really our thing, and we didn't really do it. So I didn't really know what to expect, and this thing was a blast. I'd say this crew at the Ford Bronco Off-Roadeo did a fantastic job of giving you just enough of the sort of scholastic and sort of classroom-ish training to get you foundation so that you felt safe going out there and the right instruction to get you started off, but plenty of hands-on go out and do it and made you feel like you were doing something extraordinary. In the end, you're not. You were in complete control the whole time. And even when you felt like you were doing pretty scary stuff, they had you there in control and they knew what they were doing and they had you in control. And I never really felt like I was in danger at any time. I may have felt like I was in danger of doing something expensive to that Bronco, but I never felt like I was in danger or Jamie or Declan were in danger. And it was just a ton of fun. It definitely made me want to go out and do more off-roading. Truth be told, it made me want to go out and buy another Bronco because that thing is surprisingly capable on the trails. It does a bunch of stuff. I mean, yes, it does have a lot of bells and whistles that are really cool that it can do, but this team and the instructors did a great job of showing you sort of the fundamentals of driving off-road and not necessarily relying on the buttons. They were very, very quick to say, hey, before you jump to any of the fancy buttons to get you out of trouble, what are some of the things that you can do first? Can you back it up? Can you turn your wheels to see if you can get some traction otherwise? Are there other basics that you can do to get yourself out of this situation before you resort to using one of those tricks that the Bronco has in it? And if you can't, great, the Bronco's got tricks, so use those too. So it was really, really cool to learn all that. Very, very fun to spend a day doing it. And it's a very, very picturesque setting, as I think you guys have seen from some of the footage. Bummer that we didn't get some of the better footage at the end of the day. They do have sort of a dinner and a cookout that they do to sort of round off the day, and it's supposed to be a campfire. It was sort of cool by the time we ended off the day and kind of threatening rain, so they did sort of the inside protocol or the rain protocol, which meant all the dinner was inside where they had the original sort of classroom part of the day in the morning. So we didn't really film a lot of that. Partially because there wasn't a ton to film and there was a bunch of people in there who have not agreed to be on the channel, so they're going to get fuzzed out anyway. But also because there was not a ton to see in that, and we were the last ones in. So there were 3 groups of Broncos that went out during the day to do this, to sort of maximize the usage of the trails. And we were the last Bronco, sort of the tail gunner Bronco in the last group. So by the time we pulled in and got checked in and got sort of released to go in and grab dinner, we were literally the last people through the buffet line. So we were sort of last in, last out for the day. So we were kind of rushing through to get things done. So I didn't capture the sort of tail end of what happened in the day to show that off to you here, and capturing it from the garage in the aftermath once we came home the next day. So overall, couldn't recommend the Off-Roadeo highly enough. Even if you don't own a Bronco, totally worth doing it. Look into it. Go ahead and do it. If you haven't off-roaded before, maybe if you even have off-roaded before, it's a really, really fun take-in. It was great. Really loved it. Would highly recommend it to anybody. And they have 5 of these around the country. I'm not 100% sure where the other ones are, so maybe I'll look that up and maybe I'll put that down the bottom here and list them. But this one was in Gilford, New Hampshire at Gunstock. And the nice part about New Hampshire, the New England area in general, is we have a pretty good mix of a lot of stuff. So tight wooded trails, rocks, mud. You can get a lot of terrain in one sort of compact area, where a lot of the parts of the country, you can't necessarily get all of that stuff in one. So that's sort of the nice part about living out in this way. And it's a very pretty, picturesque area to come out and see. So come out and see us here, and do that here if you're going to. So anyway, very fun time, highly recommend it. And this is a little unusual for us to sort of get out and do something like this and bring this back to you. It's off-roading, which is not the norm for what we do. And it's us sort of doing an adventure thing instead of us working on cars. And nothing broke that we needed to fix, which was nice. So a little strange. Hopefully you guys like it and had fun watching us do this. But until we see you again next time, keep on throwing wrenches.